If you know me, you will know that I am not a very big fan of very dark man. And that is because of some of the opinions that he has had in the past, especially when it comes to women. And the number one on that list was the opinion that he had when Augusta's boyfriend murdered her. And very dark man blamed Augusta for that murder. Talk about Augusta saw other men and she decided to date a man that had money, and that she went for the man because the man is rich and the man can afford to give her a good life, you know. Very dark man said all sorts of things that made it seem like the victim should be blamed for getting murdered by her boyfriend. That was the first time that I got to really pay attention to very dark man. And then on the issue of Mohbad, very dark man blamed the wife of Mohbad for the death of Mohbad, even when it's very glaring that there are other things that has happened and there is no single evidence to prove that Mohbad's wife was actually responsible for Mohbad's death. And there were evidences, video evidences of people that bullied Mohbad. And very dark man saw all these videos, but instead of confronting these videos and calling out evil for what it is, very dark man was busy trying to whitewash those people that were found in the videos and the people that Mohbad himself said they should be held accountable should anything happen to him. So I see very dark man as someone that is clearly and obviously against women. And do not get me wrong, it is not like I cover women up when they do evil. No, if you know me, you will know that I don't do that. In fact, I hardly give opinion based on gender or tribe, religion, or all those petty sentiments. No, I actually say things the way I see it. So I don't do my things based on gender. But for me to notice that very dark man was against women, that should tell you the level that he was at the time. And I think that he noticed it because a lot of people started calling him out as well. And I think he has reduced it to minimum, at least compared to how it was back then. And there were other instances then where a woman and a man were involved. And instead of very dark man to look at it at with a logical eyes and give a logical opinion, very dark man instead blamed the woman, even when it was obvious that the women were not at fault. Very dark man found a way to blame women. So since then, I've seen very dark man in a different light. So when I see people present very dark man like he can never be wrong, I just look at them like, you be like, say, you don't know this guy. So it's my own personal view of very dark man. That is how I feel about the way he places his judgment. And very dark man is also a very vindictive person. If you have issues with very dark man and you have issues with another person, when very dark man wants to judge that case, very dark man will not be logical. He will find a way to join that person to fight you. So he uses some of these things to fight his own personal battles. I am not against him because that is human nature. But for someone like very dark man that presents himself to be an activist, human rights activist, I expect better from him. That aside, very dark man and this prophet Fufeyin in Warri, if you know the man, is a very popular prophet in Nigeria. Back then when I lived in Warri, we used to visit his church, you know, though I've not met him one-on-one, but we used to, like, my friends would just tell me, babe, let's go to Prophet Fufeyin's church and I'll get ready and go with them. I went to that church a few times while I lived in Warri. Very dark man has been calling this prophet out the past few months. And to be honest with you guys, 80% of the things that I've seen him, like the criticism that I've seen him make on that prophet, I support them. I agree with him. Guys, one of the top problems of Nigeria, apart from our greedy, selfish, and unpatriotic politicians, religion. That is a top problem that we have in Nigeria. I'm not saying that religion is bad, you know. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I pray. I go to church. Though not all the time, but I go to church. So when I tell you that one of the top problems we have in Nigeria is religion, do not think that I'm saying it because I am an atheist. No, I'm not an atheist. I'm actually a theist. So religion is one of the top problems in Nigeria. And I am not saying religion like religion itself. I'm talking about the hypocrisy and the deceit and the lies and the greed that religious people, that is the people that practice that particular religion, uses to achieve their political aim or achieve their personal, like selfish personal gains. That is what I am talking about. So when I say religion, it does not mean that religion, like the word religion itself. I am talking about the people on that religion. Not all, but majority. Now, let me talk about this particular issue between Very Dark Man and Prophet FUFEYIN. Prophet FUFEYIN, a very popular pastor in Nigeria, he claims that he was called by God. I've seen a lot of videos where this man claims that he has gone to heaven and the angels carried him. There has been videos, like several videos of sorts, of this man where he claims things absurd, like things that you yourself know that it is impossible. And he does not just claim them, he makes some videos that when you look at these videos, we are not all dumb now. When you look at this video, you'll just be like, good acting, like you did well, good acting, you know. So such videos are things that Very Dark Man has been calling out. To be honest with you guys, as a Christian, I feel embarrassed when I see things like that. It is very embarrassing that the people, that is people that should preach the word of God, people that should follow the exemplary life of Christ, people that claim to be the leaders of the church of God, are the same people that are mocking the same church of God. Some of the videos that these people make, some of the outrageous claims that they make, you would just be like, you just sit down and be like, what do these people even take us for? Do they think that we don't have brains or what? Like, it feels like those Nollywood movies that you see an angel in white robe, the angel flies, you know, the sky is painted white, and you know, that kind perfect cinematic movie, right? That's what some of these pastors do. But in that case, they use their own faces to be the angels that are flying, or someone is carrying them, and you just they look them. Is this a joke, or is this person being serious right now? There was even a popular Nigerian pastor, I think Pastor Adeboye, yeah, that claimed that he drank tea with angels. No, he said he drank tea with God. And initially, when I saw the report, I didn't believe it until I got to the right source and it was confirmed that he said that. What do these people take their followers, like their church members, what do they take them for? These people, these pastors that are claiming all of these things, many of them romance with the same politicians that keep the country where it is today. I'm not saying that romancing with them is bad, you know, but they're not telling them what they should do. I'm not calling them out for the evils that they do and for impoverishing Nigerians and for stealing the resources of the country. Not calling them out for all of those things. That is where the hypocrisy lies. I am not just talking about the Christians, I'm also talking about the Muslims. But the reason why I'm talking about this particular one is because it involves a prophet. He calls himself prophet, not pastor. Prophet FUFEYIN and Very Dark Man. So Very Dark Man called this man, like he checks him each time the man make any outrageous claims, or the man said things that are not supposed to be said, or things that Very Dark Man finds absurd. Very Dark Man will just call, like check him and then tell him that, Oga, stop using this thing to defraud people. You are literally stealing from people, because Nigerians are desperate because of the situation of the country. So everybody wants miracle. Everybody wants where things will be better for him or her. I do not blame Nigerians at all. God is the only hope that they have, and going to the church is like where they can find refuge, you know, where they can find hope, because the country, the politicians rendered everything hopeless. So they find refuge in God. They find refuge at the house of God. But then when these Nigerians come to the house of God, the people that are supposed to be in charge of house of God, those people will be there using them to make money and enrich themselves. They call them pastorreneurs. Many of these Nigerian pastors, they only care about their wealth, their pocket. None of them care about their congregation. All they care about is their pocket. Only few pastors in Nigeria that I've seen that stand on business. Those ones don't compromise the word of God. They don't compromise what they should represent. They stay on business. Like, they make sure that they call out evil when evil is done, or when somebody is doing evil, they call them out. The other day, a church, an Anglican church in Abuja, gave Wike, you guys know Wike now, right? Wike, they gave Wike a mic in the church. Wike came to church for a Thanksgiving and they gave him a mic. You know, he came with his political friends and people that all of them work in the government. And what did Wike say? Instead of Wike to focus on the Thanksgiving that he came for and pray for the church or do his donation or do whatever he wants to do in the church, pray to God and go back home. What did Wike do with the mic right on the altar of God? Wike picked this mic and started insulting every of his opponents, like his political opponents. There was no name that he didn't call them, at the pulpit where the word of God is supposed to be preached. I was even disappointed because Anglican Church and Catholic Church hardly do things like that. So it was the first time that I'm seeing such thing at Anglican Church. Church welcomes everybody, of course. Churches are meant to welcome everybody, irrespective of the opinion that the person has or had. But what is not acceptable in church is allowing someone to stay at the pulpit, at the altar of God, and start insulting people, his opponents, or people that he had issues with. So a lot of these things have been going on in Nigeria, and that is why some people just be like, religion and government, they work together. All of them are in collaboration to destroy our lives. So I am out. I'm irreligious. Many people now are becoming irreligious because of things like that. People that are supposed to show good example, the leaders of the church, many of them are not doing it. All they care about is to exploit their congregation. They sell all sorts of things. They will tell you that this handkerchief will raise someone from death, this water will do this. They sell you those things. When they sell you those things, they collect money, they use it to make money. It is transactional. Many of you may argue that Christ was able to heal people during his time, of course, but Christ did not sell all those things. The pastors and the religious leaders of today are selling those things. That is where the problem lies. They use it as an avenue to amass wealth for themselves and their families. You see them flying private jets. They will see their congregations hungry and looking for what to eat. And they will tell you to take it up with God, go and meet God and pray to God. But when these people need money, they will come to the same congregations. Instead of them to go to God, they will come to the same congregations because they believe that congregations are supposed to feed them. Congregations are supposed to sponsor their luxurious lifestyle. These are the things that we are talking about. A lot of churches in Nigeria have universities that their own congregations cannot be able to afford. Many of them have schools. They fly fleets of private jets. They live the kind of life that even the president of the United States don't live. And look at Nigeria. Look at how we are in Nigeria. And then imagine this type of lifestyle that the ministers of God live. If the corrupt politicians are living such lifestyle, you as a church leader, you as a man or a woman of God, you are not supposed to be living such life in a country where the citizens cannot afford a proper square meal. A very dark man has been doing a good job calling out some of these pastors, and Prophet Fueyin is not the first person that very dark man has called out. But what did the man do? Of course, rightly, he has right to sue. So he sued very dark man, and they were in court. They have been in court for weeks. Now, very dark man's case against him has been struck out. The man has won, and the court has banned very dark man from talking about him. Now, why would a minister of God bar people from talking about him? If you are a real and a true man of God, why would you ban someone from talking about you? If very dark man made an allegation, like a false claim, defamation against you, it is different. Defamation is different. I am not in support of defamation. No one should defame another person, okay? No one should destroy the image of another person. But then, when someone criticizes you, it is not a defamation. They criticize you, they ask the right question. That is in no way called defamation. But we are in Nigeria, so these things are daily occurrence. Tell me what you guys think about this issue. What do you think about the legal battle between very dark man and Prophet Fueyin? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you guys so much, and see you all in the next one. Bye.